Welcome to Blonde Cards and Crafts. Let's make something together. Hello everyone, today I'm sharing with you the Love from Lizi October kit and I have 5 cards. So my first card is this one and I'm using the signature collection. It's a winter's tale. It's 4 pieces and it's some stamps and a die. So I have a 5x7 card and I have got the houses that came in the kit stamped inside. And what I've done is I've die cut out this window and I've taken one of the cut aparts. So it kind of feels as if I'm in the house looking out my window at the neighbour across the road. And I love to do that when I'm here crafting. I have neighbours across the road and sometimes I get to see the comings and goings. So I'm going to put this down more or less in the center of the card, and then I'm going to stick down the polka dot orange layer onto a yellow layer, and the back of that yellow layer has polka dots as well, and they came in the kit. I'm using my roller adhesive then to stick that down onto my 5x7 card. And I've taken the stamp that came in the set, this New Home stamp, and I've stamped it on a white piece of card and matted it on a yellow piece. And that's our first card for the kit. Now for card 2, my next card, I'm going to use these dies. I'm going to have links in the description below for everything, and I've used them to cut out a frame. I've used the orange polka dot and I've also used the cut apart Love Makes a House a Home. And I'm going to put some foam tape behind my frame, but first of all I'm going to stick the cut apart down onto some of the green card that came in the kit, and the polka dot is on the back side. So I've used some 3M foam tape and that's going to raise the frame up off the card, and I'm going to stick that down. Then I'm going to take some of the ephemera and I'm going to use 2 of the little flower sets. I'm going to put one to the top and one to the bottom. And there's some lovely Diamante diamond hearts, and I'm going to sprinkle a couple of them around the card at the front. I'll use 3. I'll use one on the top left, one on my little peach flower there beside the love, and then one down near the bottom right hand side. And these little Diamante hearts are really cute. I love choosing these. Lovely. Inside I'm going to use this little doohickey there. And now this little piece, I seen Jennifer McGuire make these pop up using some card. I'm going to put a link in the description. Jennifer has a fantastic tutorial showing you how to make these and use ephemera or anything you have in your stash, so I'll link that down below. So with my home cut apart popped up in the center, I've used a stamp from my collection inside, and it says from our and then to yours, so it's from our home to yours. So I'm going to stick down my home cut apart, my little sentiment there. I'm going to attach that to the center of my card. And once I have that done, lining everything up nicely. I'm just trying to show you there how everything will open and close. Once I have that done, then I can line that up with my score line in the center and press down. I just wanted to finish then embellishing that card, and I have again another 2 little pieces of the ephemera that came in the kit, and one is a little leaf ephemera and the other is a flower piece, and that will embellish the inside of that card, and that's card number 2. So now we're on our 3rd card, and this is a stepper card that we're going to make. I watched a fantastic tutorial by Sam from Mixed Up Crafts, and that's why I've decided to make this card. I think it's a really lovely card to make. I'll put a link to her tutorial down below. So I've used 300 GSM white cardstock for this stepper card, and this sheet of card measures 7 by 11. And you're going to draw a line down the center on the 7-inch side, and then we're going to score the card. You can see here that I'm scoring, and then I rotate it. Next we're going to put it onto our trimmer, and I'm going to cut down through the middle, and this is going to give us our gap. So we're coming down from the top by about 1 inch, cutting all the way through and leaving about another inch at the bottom. So I'm not going to go through this tutorial with you. I'll just give you the link to the tutorial. So there we go, we have our card shape, and you can have the solid piece to the left or to the right, and I'm going to go with it on the left for this one. I'm going to make sure and burnish all my score lines really well, and this will ensure that the card is going to stay up and sit up nicely without, you know, sliding open. So now I have all my pieces ready here. You can see them there on the left. I have a piece of the black polka dot cardstock as well as one of the cutter parts, and I've taken one of the stickers, it's scalloped edge stickers, and put that on the top. I've taken some pieces of the polka dot black for on the step part, as well as a little strip there for my piece that's going to go on the back. So I'm just going to adhere these down using my roller as well as my Nuvo glue. The great thing about using a liquid glue is it allows you to move your card or paper around, and that will ensure that you get a nice even border around it. And I'm just hit and miss to whichever is closest at hand. Sometimes I'll use my adhesive, or sometimes I'll use the Nuvo liquid glue. Now inside on the biggest stepper part, there's a lovely little house, and it said home is where the story begins. I'm going to stick that down there towards the right hand side, and then there's a cute little tree sticker. I'm going to also use that with the house. I've taken one of the sentiments, it's home sweet home, with two little hearts in the middle, as well as one of the pink heart ephemera pieces. I'm going to stick that along there too. So once I have my little tree stuck in, I'm just going to move that house over. I want to make sure that I get them nice and evenly balanced on there, and I've used my tweezers because sometimes that can help you to position your pieces that you want. But I was having trouble with this little house, but I got there in the end. So now we're going to do the back, because we need somewhere to write our sentiment to whoever's getting the card. And I have a strip of white cardstock here. I've taken some of the polka dot paper as well as one of the peel-offs. I'm going to use the Home Sweet Home stamp that came in the beautiful pack with all our stamps, as well as two of the little houses. Now there's a couple of houses on the stamp that we get, so I've just put a little piece of scrap card over the third house. I don't want to stamp that down. I just want to get the two little houses on that. So I'm doing this on a piece of card or paper, so that if I have any problems, I can just start again. I don't want to stamp down on my card and then make a mess of it, and that'll be my card ruined. So hence the reason that I've taken this piece of card, and I'm just going to give you the measurements for it. It's, let me see, it's 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. So now I'm going to use my Nuvo glue to stick that down onto the back there, and that'll give us somewhere to write our message to whoever is getting the card. Lovely, that's it now, all done. My finished card will measure 5 1/2 by 7, and you'll see in the pictures that I've taken the We Are Memory Keepers envelope maker, and I've made an envelope for this card. Now we're moving on to card 4. And this is on a plain 5 by 7 card. I have a piece of green card measuring 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and then I have some layers on top of that. The grey layer measures 4 by 4, and my green layer measures 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and that'll sit on top of it. I have this little strip of grey and green card as well. That's going to go in the inside of our card. I'm going to embellish that using one of the peel-offs, and I'm going to use that along the top and the bottom there between the green and the grey card. I'm also going to use one of the Together ephemeras that came in the kit, as well as the house and the little banner that says Happily Ever After. We also get some beautiful lace in the kit, and I'm going to place that across the bottom of my card, just up about 1/2 inch from the bottom. I'm going to stick that down using some of my glue dots to adhere that down. So at the moment you can see that I'm embellishing our little square piece of grey and green card that we've matted together, and I've just gone all around the edge of the green polka dot card there, and it'll just bring out the lovely colours in the card. I'm just using my Fiskars scissors there to trim off the ends so I get a nice even border going the whole way around. Now I could have mitered those edges or, you know, given them a framed look, but I just cut them off. I just butted them up against one another, and that looked fine to me. So I'm using my 3M foam tape and I'm putting that behind my little house piece, and that's going to raise that up. I'm also going to use the same 3M foam tape, and I'm going to raise up the Happily Ever After banner. Lovely, and just make sure that that's nice and straight. Now I'm going to take down my green matte layer and put that on my card. And sometimes if you find it hard to make sure that you have an even border around, sometimes it's easier to actually stand up and look down when you're placing it. I find that helps me a lot. Now at this point I thought, you know what, I haven't used the lace. And if I was going to do this again, I would actually make sure that the lace curls under my green matte layer there, but I couldn't do that. I didn't want to damage the card by pulling it up. So I'm just going to use glue dots on that, and it holds on really, really well. I've taken my EK Powder Success tool and I have gone over where those little glue dots are so that it takes the sticky off from the top side, but it worked perfectly fine. I'm using my liquid adhesive, my Nuvo glue here, to stick down the together ephemera piece because I want to make sure it's going to stick onto the lace as well as the card. I've got some of the sequins out here in a little tub, and I'm going to rifle through those and pick out the little sequins that I want. I'm going to dot them around the card. Once I've my sequins all down, I'm going to take a Spectrum Noir sparkle pen, and I'm going to use that on the windows and on the actual letters, just covering the black of the word together. Now I just need to embellish the inside, so I'm going to use my strip of the grey card with the green polka dot and some of my peel-offs. I'm going to take the stamp here, Home Sweet Home, and I'm going to stamp that down on the inside. And I've used my VersaFine Onyx Black ink for that. There's this little ephemera piece, and it's a box with exploding hearts, and I'm going to stick that down inside. And then I'm going to take an ephemera green heart, very similar colour to the green of our paper that came in the kit. I'm going to stick that down and put some Sparkle Noir on all my little hearts, and that's that card finished. Now we're going to move on to our final card of this video, and it's card 5. This is an easel card, and I'm using a scalloped 6x6 card. I've got my mats and layers, and I'm using the black that came in the kit as well as the peach one that has polka dots on one side and plain on the other. And these measure 5.5 by 5.5 and then 5 by 5. I've used one of the cutter parts, the Live, Laugh, Love, as well as one of the flower ephemeras. So with your card, if you're making it yourself, you'll need a piece that's 12 by 6. And I'm going to score at 3 and at 6. And that'll give us this little piece. We can then take another piece of card and that will give it the easel. I've used some of the scalloped sticker. I put some 3M foam tape on that, and that then will go on the inside and help our easel card to stand. My matte layers inside are 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then the peachy coloured one is 5.5 by 5.5. And our little raised scalloped piece will sit there towards the bottom, and it will help our card to stand. I have a lovely piece of white card that I'm going to embellish and stamp, and it'll give us room as well to put our sentiment. The little sticker that I'm putting down has got family and a heart on it. I'm also going to use again the stamp from my stash, and that says from our and to yours, so it'll read from our family to yours. I'm also going to take one of the stickers that has 3 little peach flowers. I'm going to stick that in and around where the heart is. Got a little smudge, so I'm using my sand eraser to take that off. So that'll sit inside the card. Now we're going to look at the outside of the card. We have our, this is like a navy, or it's nearly black, it's so dark, layer. And again, that's a 5.5 by 5.5 layer. And then we have the peach polka dot, which is 5 by 5. I'm going to take the live, laugh and love, and I'm going to stick that down, and I'm keeping it more to the left hand side. And then I've got some of the lovely flower ephemera, and I'm going to put some 3M foam tape behind that. And I'm going to stick that down on the top right hand corner so it just sits over where the live, laugh and love is. And I felt the colours that's in the flowers is reflected in that live, laugh, love piece. Now this piece of card is going to sit on top of our little fold over piece, or our easel piece. And I'm using some really strong adhesive tape there. It's double-sided tape. But first I need to stick down my layers for the inside of the card. So I'm just looking to make sure that I'm going to get it nice and straight. I'm going to put our sentiment piece towards the top, and then I'm going to stick that whole lot down onto our card base, and that sits in nicely there. I'm taking my tape off so I can then take, and the scalloped piece that I'm using for the main easel part, I just cut a card in half, and that gives me 2 pieces then to use for 2 cards. So I want to make sure that my little piece here that I'm putting down is nice and straight. That's the piece that's going to help our easel card to stand. And I'm just going to embellish it by using some of the ephemera hearts that came in the kit. I'm going to use a peach and dark navy, kind of a grey dark colour on the left hand side, and I'm going to use a green one and a mustard yellow one on the right hand side. And I feel that when you look at the card while it's stood up like that, all the colours tie in together, and it's a really nice and fresh colourful palette that we have going on here. So I'll just stick down my little last 2 hearts. Once I have my hearts stuck down, I'm then going to embellish the card. I'm going to use some of the sequins and the glitter, as well as the faceted jewel hearts, and I'm going to embellish the cards using those. So that's basically my 5 cards from my October Love from Lizi kit. I've only got 5 cards recorded. I finished recording this video last week, but unfortunately my dad became quite ill. In my last video that I recorded, I told you how my dad hadn't been well and I had been traveling up and down. Unfortunately, last Thursday my dad passed away. So I wanted to finish this video because I had started it and share with you that I may be absent for a little while. I just want to take a bit of time to remember my dad and get my head back on right. I probably won't finish the kit itself and post videos. I'll do that when I'm ready. But I hope that with the next kit, our November kit, I'll be ready again to record some videos and make some cards for you. So I'd like to thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you might give it a like. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. And if not, you might consider subscribing to my channel. I'd like to thank Lizi again for another great kit. I have links below to Lizi's shop, etc. This kit is sold out. They sell out so fast, guys. But I will put links for Lizi's shop, so you might be interested in getting the November kit. So I'll leave you with some images of the cards we've made, and until next time, thanks for watching and bye bye.